Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to week one of the Chiseled Adonis NFL reviews. Now, this was originally supposed to be a sports podcast, but nonetheless, things didn't really fall through yet. But that is in the works. It is coming soon. I am your host, the CEO and founder of Hold My Nuggets Incorporated and the host of Hold My Nuggets Studios. But you know me as the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis. And we're here to talk about the NFL week one, all right? Usually I'm not in my studio, all right? Well, I should say usually I am in my studio. Evidently, I have to find myself upstairs because people like to have company unexpected while people trying to record. Might I add, my back is still in shambles right now. It seems that Trafalgar Law from One Piece came and put the shambles on my back and my hamstring. I'm feeling all kinds of pain as I'm recording this, but I will soldier through. But let's get in to our predictions for week one of the NFL season. As you know, in a couple of hours, it's going to kick off T minus about 3 hours from now until the kickoff between the Falcons taking on the Super Bowl defending champions, Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I'm going to tell you this much. For this game, the over and under over on MyBookie.ag, it is 44 and a half points. I am predicting the Falcons are going to go in there and get themselves a W. Why, you might ask? Because their Falcons unit just got better offensively. You just drafted Ridley from Alabama. This guy's coming in. He's a great slot receiver. Might I add, the dreadlock powers is still in the backfield with Devontae Freeman. Telvin Coleman is still there as well. Matty Ice still able to sling the ball. Let's not forget this man was also an MVP a couple seasons ago. Julio Jones can still channel the power of the dreadlocks as well. Might I add, Mohamed Sanu is still there as well. Austin Hooper at tight end. Defensively, Falcons were very underrated last year. So I think they're going to be able to play very well on the defensive end. As for the Philadelphia Eagles, Carson Wentz isn't playing for week one. He's not playing week one. So Nick Folk, did I say Nick Folk? Nick Foles is going to have to start. I almost lost my mind just there. Let's see what your mother. No, not what we're here to talk about. We ain't talking about him. But Foles is set to start. I do believe that man's going to be capable. However, I do not think he's going to be as efficient as he was in the NFC Championship and also the Super Bowl. As you can see, when they played each other in the divisional round last year, he did not excel that well. It was still down to the wire sort of game. And I think Atlanta is going to be able to rile them up and play them very well. However, this time around, I think they're going to be able to run the football great. Philly's defensive front is way better this year than it was last year. So it can possibly go either way. However, I'm rolling with the Falcons. If you go over to mybookie.ag and you go and put the under, because I don't think this is going to be a high scoring game. If I were you, I would bet the under 44 and a half and win you some money. Don't be a dummy. Be smart. Go over to mybookie.ag. We're going to the second game. As you know, I'm going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers last, so they're going to be the 16th game we get to. But we're going over to the Tennessee Titans taking on the Miami Dolphins. This game, the first of the reign of Derrick Henry in the backfield for the Tennessee Titans. Although I do see situations in which he's going to be splitting time with Dion Lewis. So we're going to see how that plays out. But Marcus Mariota, he's going to be off to a great start. I think they're going to play very well. However, I think the Miami Dolphins might surprise people. People think this might be a blowout sort of game. I don't think it's going to be the case. I think it's going to be much closer than most people expect. However, I do expect the Tennessee Titans to go out with the W because Miami does not have a number one receiver, or at least they have somebody on the depth chart, but they're not to the level of Jarvis Landry last year. Ryan Tannehill's coming back off injury. We don't know how that man's going to look. We have no clue how that man's going to look. Who's the running back for Miami? Is it still Kenyon Drake? I believe it is Kenyon Drake who's going to be the bell cow over there. And also, I believe Frank Gore got picked up down there as well. So we're going to see how things play out down in Miami. However, I do not see them winning this game. Defensively, what is it? Just Cameron Wake and a couple of other names, but I don't think they're going to be able to get it done. I don't think they're going to play very well against this Tennessee Titans team, at least defensively. Offensively, I think they're going to be able to move the chains, although it's just going to be Tannehill and the running back making moves. But I think they're going to be able to put some points on the board against the Tennessee Titan front. However, I do see the Titans coming out with the W. Now, the over-under for this game is 45 if you are a betting man. I don't know why. I feel like this could be a game in the 30s. Surprising high game. So, if I were you, I'd go over to mybookie.ag and put in the promo code Chiseled Adonis. Win you some money with the over 45 for the second game. Now, the third game. All right, I feel as if I'm speeding through this. However, I don't feel like I'm doing that. It may sound like I am, but I'm not. I'm relaxed right now. My back. Number third game. 49ers taking on the Minnesota Vikings. This is going to be a very exciting game. However, I do not think it's going to be high. I think the defensive fronts are going to play very well. Now, for the Vikings, you have a change at quarterback. Every single quarterback they had last year on the depth chart got the boot kicked out. I would do the animation of me doing a boot, but I can't do it right now because my back, my leg, but we ain't talking about my health, right? So Teddy Bridgewater, gone. Case Keenum, also gone. Sam Bradford, gone. Who's the starting quarterback coming in for them? They got Mr. Kirk Cousins. So we're going to see how things play out there. Dalvin Cook coming back from a season-ending injury last year. Stephon Diggs, Adam Thielen, we're going to see those guys, and Kyle Rudolph is still there as well. So we're going to see how things play out with these 5 core members of the offense. I have high hopes for this Vikings team. I think they can replicate the same success as last year. However, we don't know how things are going to play out. Defensively, same team coming back. Same team coming back. They had that very top 5 dominant defense that they got over there. I think they're going to be able to play well. However, for the 49ers, Jimmy G's taking over the reins for the entire season. So it's a start of a new era. We're going to see how things play out. I have confidence in this 49ers team. Jimmy G's undefeated as a starter, but I think this is where he takes his first L. Also, I might add, they're playing in Minnesota. So I'm giving the edge to the Vikings. I think this is going to be a closer game. However, if you're going to go over there and bet on MyBookie.ag, it is a 45 over under. I'm betting on the under 45 points. So go over there, MyBookie.ag, put in the promo code Chiseled Adonis, win you some money. Bet the under 45.5 for the Minnesota Vikings to win the doggone game. Sorry, 49ers fans. Today just ain't your day. Or I should say Sunday, because today's Thursday. Obviously, today's not your day. It's not game day. Moving on to the fourth game. We got the Texans taking on the Patriots in a rematch of last year. This game, I'm expecting fireworks. Last year, you saw the game, Deshaun Watson's coming out party. It was absolutely masterful. The dreadlock powers was in full effect. Nobody can guard Deandre Hopkins. And let me tell you something. The same thing's about to happen this year. However, the ending result of the Patriots finding Brandon Cooks for the toe tap and then going into the end zone to win the game, no. Not going to be able to save you this time. As we know, over the past recent years, the Patriots always happen to get off to slow starts. No, I'm not only talking about week 1, I'm talking about the first 5 games of the season. The defense, for some apparent reason, is never in order. And I think that's going to be the case. Houston's going to go out there and exploit them. Might I add, the Honey Badger is now on defense for the Texans as well. I think the Texans win this game by a surprising 10 points. It's going to be a touchdown and a field goal for those of you who don't know how to do math. If you don't know how to do math, go pick up a textbook. Math is not that hard, especially simple arithmetic, but we're talking about football. So I think Deshaun Watson's going to go out there and throw 3 touchdowns, 2 of them going to the dreadlock man himself. MVP from last year, Mr. DeAndre Hopkins. Lamar Miller's going to be able to get the play action fake, open up the pass for DeAndre Hopkins down the line. All right, Watkins going to hit him. Tom Brady's going to play very well. I think he's going to do his thing. However, I think the Patriots are simply too depleted. You're going in that game, you don't got Edelman. You don't got Amendola. You got Gronk. I believe he's there. But hey, Gronk's going to be Gronk. But is that going to be enough to get the Patriots to win? The over-under for this game is going to be 51. I think the fireworks in this game is going to be through the roof. I'm going with the over. So go over to MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code Chiseled Adonis. Put more money down for the over. Win you some money at MyBookie.ag. Now, moving over to the fifth game. The fifth game of Sunday, we got ourselves the Buccaneers taking on the Saints. NFC South matchup. I think the Saints roll in this game. I think they're going to blow out the Buccaneers, although I always have high hopes for the Buccaneers every single year. I don't know what it is. These guys simply cannot be consistent. Last year, they got screwed over by you know who. I'm not trying to get my blood pressure up, but it's a kicker. His last name rhymes with Polk. You could put 1 and 2 together. But I do think the Saints, they are one of my picks to go to the NFC Championship. I think there's going to be one of those seasons like in 2009 when they started 13-0. I think they're going to have like an 8-0 start, 9-0 start, 7-0 start, and I think this is going to be the one to get the train rolling. In the backfield, you still got you still got Mark Ingram back there. You got Alvin Kamara back there as well. So those two, I'm expecting a fire explosive season from both of those guys. Drew Brees is still there slinging the ball. It doesn't matter how old this man gets. He's still an MVP candidate. Now, mind you, He hasn't won the award yet. He's never won it. This could possibly be the year for him. Now, I know what you're thinking. He's 39 years old. How's he going to win the MVP? He's old. Well, last I checked, Tom Brady just won it at 40 years old, right? Age ain't nothing but a number for these old-ass quarterbacks. So I think Drew Brees is going to go out there, sling the ball around. On top of that, they're playing at home. Jameis Winston's not playing for the first 3 games of the season. You know that man is suspended unless I'm uninformed, and they lifted the suspension from the last time I looked. That man was suspended. So without no quarterback, how the hell they gonna win? Who's gonna start the game? Ryan Fitzpatrick? You already know how that man worked. Ryan Fitz 6. He's throwing a pick 6. Lattimore, thank you very much. Going to the end zone. Marcus Williams, excuse me. Oh no, that's the ball. I'm actually gonna catch it this time. Going to the end zone for 6. So we're gonna see how things play out. But I think the Saints are gonna win this game. This game over under is 49 points. I think the Buccaneers will be able to put up 10, but I think the Saints are going to put up 35, maybe even 40. So I'm going to go and bet the over 49 points and give it to the New Orleans Saints. So if you were a smart man, I'd go over to MyBookie.ag and I'd use the promo code Chiseled Adonis. Then put the money on the over for this game, win you some doggone money. Now moving on to game number 6, the Jacksonville Jaguars traveling to the Meadowlands to take on the New York Giants. I'll say this about this game. High expectations and the matchup of the week between Odell Beckham taking on Jalen Ramsey. We're going to see the number 1 corner in the league, arguably, going up against the number 1 receiver in the league, arguably. Now, for me, you already know how I stand on that. Antonio Brown's the best in the league, but there are some people out there, Max Kellerman, talk about, well, Odell Beckham's the number 1 receiver in the league. Jalen Ramsey is the most undisputed number 1 corner in the league. So we're going to see how these guys play against each other. I'm expecting Jalen Ramsey to get the clamps on this man. Now, Odell, very, very, very talented, but on the offensive side, it's not going to be, oh, well, we got the return of Odell Beckham. Let's just keep getting on the ball. You know it's about to be the Saquon Barkley show. And I'll say this about the Jacksonville Jaguars defense. Number 1 in the league, however, that came against the pass. If you remember last year, especially the Jacksonville Jaguars fans, you guys got started slow on the defensive end when it came to stopping the run. Up until week 5, the game against the Pittsburgh Steelers, they were the last in the league stopping the run. So if you can't play gap control and stop Saquon Barkley from getting those holes, that man is about to go for about 200 in a debut. So you're going to have to stop this man. The goal ain't no, let's stop Odell. Let the corners, let Boye, let AJ, let Barry Church, let them do that. Why did I say AJ? Am I thinking WWE? Am I thinking AJ Styles? Jalen. Not AJ. No, AJ Boye. I said Boye, then I said AJ. Matter of fact, I am supposed to be thinking AJ. What the hell am I talking about? Let's edit that out. Spoiler alert, dummy. Ain't nobody editing nothing out. I run everything raw and uncut. Now, we're going to have Jalen, AJ Boye, Barry Church back there, other people, Telvin Smith, whether Miles Jack, all those other guys, they can worry about stopping the pass. But when it comes to the run, boys up front, you got to get that done. Stop Saquon Barkley. That's what their game plan should be. Now, as for the Giants, if you remember 2 years ago when they went to the postseason, that defense that they spent $200 million on was top 5 in the league. Last year, they were in the bottom half of the league. So they have got to show up. Janoris Jenkins, your brother murdered somebody. Manslaughter. You better start playing with some passion, buddy. You still got the dreadlocks on your head. Olivier Vernon, you're one of the top 6 highest paid defensive players in the league. It's about time you start to play like an all-pro if you want to make the New York Giants win and get back to the prominence, which is the Super Bowl. However, you all know how that works out. You need a little bit of luck because Eli Manning is the luckiest quarterback of all time. But we're not talking about that. I have the Jacksonville Jaguars walking into the Meadowlands, winning the game. However, by a field goal. I think this game is going to be low scoring. I'm thinking about 17-14. So over on MyBookie.ag, the over-under is 43 points. We're going to go with the under if you want to win yourself some money. We're moving on to the next game. We got the Bangles taking on the Colts in a game that nobody's going to watch. Andrew Luck is returning to the field for the first time in over a year. This is going to be exciting. On top of that, he's playing against a team in which he doesn't really have to worry too much. Vontaze Burfict, I believe he's suspended. A couple of other players who are on the field. You don't really got to worry about that. You do have a pass rush come from Geno Atkins and also Carlos Dunlap as well. So you better watch out for those two. Offensive line for the for the Colts, you got your hands full because if we've seen over the past couple of years, they're not the same offensive line that was blocking for Peyton Manning. Oh no, not at all. So Andrew Luck, you better watch the hell out. A lot of other analysts are talking about, or I should say, there was a coach in that same AFC that was saying, well, he's going to turn into Alex Smith and turn into check down Poppy because he don't want to stay in the damn pocket and look down the field because somebody might come and rock his joint. All of a sudden, my rotator's cuff, I'm done for the year. I need Tommy John surgery. No, it's not going down like that. So, Andrew Luck, you got yourself your return to the field. You've got to play efficiently. As for the Bengals, though, I expect A.J. Green to have a phenomenal game, well over 100 yards. Andy Dalton, you better have a good game. Joe Mixon as well. This guy is going to have over 1,000 yards on the ground this year. I have high hopes for Joe Mixon. So this game, I think, is going to come down to a field goal as well. I'm thinking about 24-21. Go ahead game-winning field goal, not game-winning field goal. So probably about go-ahead game-winning field goal at about 3 minutes remaining around that area, and then the defense does their job. I'm giving the edge to the Colts because they're playing at home. The emotion's going to be high. The Bengals don't really do well traveling on the road, so I am giving it to the Colts to win this game. The over-under for this game is 48. I do not believe it's going to get to that number, so if you're going to go over to MyBookie.ag, put some money down for the under 48. Win you some money. Don't be a dummy. You know where to find me. I'll be at MyBookie.ag. Now, moving down to the next game. We got the Bills taking on the Ravens. Now, if you've been wondering why the hell I've been looking down, obviously there's a notebook here with the games listed and the over-under. That's how I'm able to figure the stuff out. I can't just leave everything to memory. As for what I'm saying, that's straight off the top of my dome, but the games and stuff, that's why I keep looking down. It's not like somebody's in front of me, some big woody woman is in front of me, and I'm watching her twerk as she throwing it back. That's not what we're here to talk about, though. We ain't talking about nobody throwing it back. We're talking about football over here. So we got the Bills taking on the Ravens. This game, I'm expecting this one to have fireworks in this game, all right? See, number one, Nate Peterman is starting for the Buffalo Bills. A lot of people was thinking, well, that was going to be A.J. McCarron. Guess what? They traded that man. He's on the Raiders. A lot of people thought, well, it's going to be Josh Allen. Guess what? Peterman beat that man for the job. What does that mean? Turnovers, 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 turnovers. If you're a Baltimore Ravens fan, you better be jumping in the air. Get your popcorn ready, as Terrell Owens would once say, because expect the ball to come into your hands. Eric Weddle, I expect about at least 2 interceptions from you alone. You guys got to come on and play well. I'll say this about Peterman, though. He is showing much more promise this year than he did last year. I don't think he's going to throw 5 interceptions. I think he's only going to throw 3. So expect the ball to be coming to you. As for LaShawn McCoy, as shifty as he is, the Buffalo Bills are going to be a one-sided team. I have no confidence in them being able to pass the ball. They're going to try to go in there and run the ball on the Baltimore Ravens, and you know how the Baltimore Ravens are against the run. Offensively, Joe Flacco is going to do what Joe Flacco does. That's the bare minimum. All the Baltimore Ravens have to do is score 2 touchdowns, and I think this game is over. And the defensive side is going to give them a couple of points too, whether it's taking the ball away, putting them in field goal range, where the best kicker in the game, Justin Tucker, could go out there, sing the damn opera as he's swinging his foot and adding 3 more points on the board. I think this game ends 20 to, I'm going to give Buffalo a touchdown. 20-7, I'm giving it to the Ravens. They're winning this game week 1. They're getting themselves a W, moving on to 1-0. Sorry, Bills fans. Maybe down the line when they finally say, let's give it to Josh Allen. We don't like this Peterman kid. He keeps throwing interceptions. However, I could be wrong. Who knows? Maybe Peterman could come out and throw 5 touchdowns. Unlikely, but maybe he could do it. You never know. It's the NFL. Anything can happen. But the over-under for this game is 40 points, and I'm going to go with the under. If you're a smart man, I'd go with the under too. Now, go over to MyBookie.ag. Put some money down for the under. Don't be a dummy. Use the promo code. I haven't said it the last couple of games. Chiseled Adonis. Win you some money. It's easy money. It's the Bills versus the Ravens. Who else is going to win? Who else is going to? Moving on to the next game. We got the Ravens. We got the Chiefs taking on the Chargers in the AFC West matchup. This is going to be exciting because Patrick Mahomes making his start as the ringleader, the aficionado. I don't know why I said aficionado. The head honcho, that's what I wanted to say, of the Kansas City Chiefs taking on what I believe to be one of the hottest teams in the NFL, the Los Angeles Chargers. This is going to be a phenomenal game. I'm expecting all offense and minimal defense. Now, you got yourself the Dreadlock Powers in the backfield for both teams: Kareem Hunt, Melvin Gordon. You got wide receiver matchups. You got Baby Dreads in Tariq Hill. You got on the other side Keenan Allen. You got Phillip Rivers. You got a young QB trying to make himself known. Tight ends, Antonio Gates returning for, what is this, his 16th, 17th season? You got young Bull, one of the top two tight ends in the league, and Travis Kelce. On the defensive side, you got Bosa, you got Ingram, you got Haywood, you got what is it, Derwin James over there? Got young Derwin James on the Chargers side. The Chiefs side, you still got Houston. I mean, you lost Peters, you done gave that man away, but you still got Barry back there. You got guys, names on both teams. However, the Chargers going to walk away with this W. Although the Chargers over the past couple of years have always started slow. Why? I don't know. I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know if it's a chromosome thing in the way that they play. Where what's going on with the Chargers? Why they keep starting 1-2, 3-4? Why can't they have a good record when they start? Well, we're kind of slow. We can't get anything done. Our kickers always miss kicks. That's what's going down over there. So I think the Chargers can turn it around this year. I have them winning over 11 games. So we're going to see how things play out. However, I'm rolling with the Chargers on this game. The over-under for this game is 48.5 points. I think it's going to be over because it's going to be an offensive explosion. I expect Tariq Hill to not have a good game, but I expect Travis Kelce to have a good game. Hayward is probably going to put the clamps on Hill, depending on what they do with Hill. If they start putting him in the backfield along with, Hunt, then he can make some noise because that man coming out the backfield is something scary. I don't know why Andy Reid didn't do it too much last year, but nonetheless, I digress. I think the Chargers win this game to about a touchdown and a half. I'd say touchdown and a half, meaning a field goal. So maybe between 7 and 10 points, they get themselves a W. Now for the over/under, I'm going with an over. I believe this is going to be a game in which you have a 31 to 24, 31 to 20. I don't know. It depends on that area. But I think they're going to be able to get over the 48.5 points. So if you go over to MyBookie.ag, you put the money on the over for the Chargers. You will be winning you some money, at least in my prediction. Of course, I could always be wrong and you end up losing money, but I'm not liable for you losing money. Use a promo code Chiseled Adonis. Moving on to the next goddamn game. We got the Redskins taking on the Cardinals, where Adrian Peterson takes on his former team. A bunch of people talking about what he played for the Cardinals. Of course he did. He played last year. He didn't really play too many games because the man got hurt. My neck turned to Kurt Angle. Talking about I broke my freaking neck. He didn't break his neck though, but something happened to his neck. But his man is starting. Alex Smith is now the quarterback for the Redskins, although their number one receiver is Jamison Crowder. They don't really have anybody too special. Jordan Reed is there. Hopefully he's not heavily concussed. I think the Redskins go out there and win this game. As for the Cardinals, Sam Bradford is the starting quarterback. A lot of people thought it was going to be Rosen. Turns out it's Bradford. He won himself that job. Larry Legend is still going to be out there, but outside of that, David Johnson is returning to the field. So these are some things to be excited about. A lot of returns to the field, a lot of first to the field. First time for Sam Bradford to be playing over there in Arizona. So we're going to see how things play out. However, I do think the Redskins somehow go in there and win this game. I don't know why. I just don't have too much confidence in the Cardinals. Defensively, you lost Honey Badger back there. Tyrann Mathieu went over to the Texans. So the defense is going to be headlined and ran by Patrick Peterson. I'm not saying the secondary is going to be weak. Patrick Peterson is going to do his thing. However, Jordan Reed at that tight end position, I do not see a safety being able to guard Jordan Reed. I don't see a linebacker out of Arizona being able to guard Jordan Reed. I think he's going to have himself a hell of a game because if you remember when Alex Smith was over there in Kansas City, he was able to get the ball to Travis Kelce at one of the better QB to tight end touchdown ratios in the league. So you think him getting somebody like Jordan Reed, you think that's a step down? Oh, no, it's not that big of a step down. Not at all. It probably is a step down. I mean, Travis Kelce is a perennial all-pro. Jordan Reed, not really. So I'd say it is a bit of a step down, but not all full step, about like a half of a step. His foot didn't touch the other step yet. So, yeah, he's still able to fling it over there. You understand what I'm trying to say. So I think the Redskins get themselves a win over here in Arizona. Now, the over-under for this game is 44. I think it's going to be over 44. I think it's probably, in fact, if it's exactly at 44, I think there's going to be like one of those 20 to 24 games. So who knows? Maybe bet down the line. Find out that for yourself. But go over to MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code Chiseled Adonis and figure that out for yourself. Figure out your own bet. I'm not going to give you a bet on this game. All right? I'm going to leave it a little bit ambiguous. You figure it out yourself. However, I'm rolling with the Redskins. Moving on to the next game, we got ourselves the Cowboys. We go into the Super Bowl taking on the Carolina Panthers. Now, this game over here is going to be the return for Ezekiel Elliott, getting back on the field where he can play a full season. Now, for this game in particular, I think Ezekiel Elliott is going to be over 100 yards because they're going to be feeding this man all day. Number one receiver for the Dallas Cowboys, who is it? Maybe Alan Hearns? Is it going to be Cole Beasley? It doesn't really matter because they're both not going to have that great of a game. I don't think Dak is going to have those phenomenal number. I think it's going to be give the Zeke the ball 30 plus times. Defensively, this Cowboys their front seven is great. Their secondary, not so much. I expect Cam Newton to be, if he's able to scramble, this game's over. Because I think Christian McCaffrey is going to have a great game out of the backfield. Curtis Samuel sneaking into the slot. He's going to have himself some good games here and there. I think the Panthers are going to be able to pull this one off. Game-winning field goal. On top of that, they're playing at home here. So I'm giving the edge to the Panthers. Now, I'm not saying Dallas is going to go out there and stink up the joint. I think there's going to be a last-second field goal off the toes of Graham Gano. But I expect a good game out of both of these teams. I expect them not to turn the football over as well. I think that's going to be one of the reasons why it's so close, because both teams are going to be very meticulous with the ball. But Ezekiel Elliott, great performance from him, but it's not enough to beat Super Cam and the Panthers. I'm giving the edge to the Panthers to win this game. The over-under is the 43-point mark combined. I think they will usurp that number. So I will go over to MyBookie.ag, put some money on the over, and win you some with the promo code Chiseled Adonis. Moving on. Oh my God, my back's starting to hurt. Now, moving on to the next game, we got the Seahawks taking on the Broncos. Over under for this game is 42. I do not think they're going to be able to get to this point. This is one of those games in which I think the Broncos, offensively, I don't know what they're going to do. You got Case Keenum calling the shots. I don't know if it's going to be a one-year miracle like last year, and he's going to come in off that same sort of high, walk in there and get stuff done with Demaryius Thomas and Emmanuel Sanders. I don't know if they're going to be able to do that. I believe Buckner is going to be the starting running back because C.J. Anderson, I don't think he's there anymore. So we're going to see how things play out. Defensively, they don't have Aqib Talib anymore. Von Miller's pretty much, he's still there. He does his thing. Don't get me wrong. He does his thing. But when it comes to the pass defense, it's no longer the same no-fly zone as it was a few years back. All right, so I'm expecting this game, Russell Wilson, to be able to tear this defense apart. As long as the offensive line can hold them for 4 seconds, he can be able to find Doug Baldwin somewhere. Chris Harris is still over there doing his thing, right? He's doing his thing, but I don't think it's going to be enough to stop Seattle from being able to make points. I think Russell Wilson being able to scramble around is going to drive the Broncos crazy. I think it's going to be low scoring. I don't expect big time stuff. Now think about Seattle's defense. The Legion of Boom is done. Cam Chancellor retired. Thomas is coming back, but he's ready to lead. All right. You still got Sherman, who's gone. He's not there anymore. Spoiler alert. He still ain't there. He packed his bags and went somewhere else in the NFC West. Where'd he go? To the 49ers. All right, making his debut earlier in the day, because I think this game is going to be at like 4 ton. Doesn't really matter. So Legion of Boom is gone. Denver can take advantage. However, I don't think they will. I think this game probably ends about a couple of field goals and 1 touchdown. The other team probably scores like 1. Whatever the over-under is, 42, they don't reach that. It's an under, like I said. So go over there. I think the Seahawks walk away with the W, though. So Seahawks win this game. They're moving on to 1-0. Then Bears taking on the Packers. A lot of people expect, the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, as it went out of focus. Aaron Rodgers coming back to the field. It's going to be a murderous game. They're just going to step on the field and kill the Bears. I think not. I think this game, upset alert, upset alert. I have a feeling the Bears could possibly win this game. Is it going to happen? No. Take the upset alert away. All right? No more upset alert. I lied. Upset, 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 offset, upset. So basically, there's no upset happening in this doggone game. But I have high hopes for the Bears. I predict at least 7 wins for you guys this year. Don't disappoint me. You're bringing in Khalil Mack. You got Mack out there. You still got a good D line. This was one of the better run defenses in the league last year. Pass defense, they still got to work on that. But they made some good pickups defensively. Offensively, they're still young. Trubisky, you got that short guy, forgetting his name. Howard, one of the better running backs in the league. You brought over Allen Robinson. So things are going to be looking good moving forward. So I expect the Bears to go out there and give a valiant effort. I think this game ends off the toes of Mason Crosby. I'd say about a 27-24 finish. The over-under for this game is 47. I'm rolling with the over. Yeah, I'm rolling with the over. So go and give the over to the Packers. I had to do quick math in my head. I was like, wait a minute. 27 plus 4. That don't make no sense, but it does. That's simple arithmetic. My back starting to mess with me. But we almost done, so I can lay down. Now, Jets taking on the Lions in the game. Nobody going to be watching except those Jets and Lions fans. I'm going to give the edge over here to the Lions because people are underrating the Lions, all right? Because Matthew Stafford is one of the better quarterbacks in the league, and this man never gets his respect. On top of that, might I add, this is the debut of Sam Darnold, but the people he's throwing the ball to are nobody special. So I don't expect the Jets to come out there and look phenomenal. I think Sam Darnold, and also, if you watch his last year at USC, he turned the ball over a couple of times. So I think he's going to have about maybe a touchdown, interception, and a fumble. And I think that's going to be enough to get the Lions the win. However, for the Lions, you guys need a running back to go out there and run the football effectively. They haven't had a 100-yard rusher since Reggie Bush. They haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher since Reggie Bush. Somebody's got to run the ball for these guys. Seriously. Somebody's got to run the ball. But I think the Lions are going to be able to win the game. You still got Marvin Jones. You still got Golden Tate. And I don't think the Jets are going to be able to guard both of those guys. But the Jets defense is young. They do look promising. Todd Bowles, I hope you're able to get these guys to turn around. Hopefully you don't get fired at the conclusion of the season when you ultimately miss the playoffs. But I have the Lions winning this game. I think it's going to be 2 touchdown differential. The over-under for this game is 45. I think it's going to be the under. Don't go and bet the over. However, if you're feeling froggy, then leap. Go over to MyBookie.ag, use the promo code Chiseled Adonis, and possibly win you some money on the over-under on the Lions versus the Jets. I would go with the under, but if you're willing to go with the over, hey man, prove me wrong. Win you some money. Now moving on to the next game, the Rams taking on the Raiders in the return of Chucky, the return of John Gruden. I'm expecting this game to have fireworks on the offensive side because the Rams are my second pick to go to the NFC Championship, to go meet the Saints, to possibly go to the NFL Super Bowl and represent the NFC. But this game in particular, I have the Raiders who are going to lose this game. You thought I was going to say the Raiders are going to win. How you going to win? You ain't got no more Khalil Mack. Their defensive front last year was struggling as is. Now you get rid of the best damn player on your defensive side. Why would you do that? And on top of that, look at the Rams. They're loaded defensively trying to stop Derek Carr. You done brought in Ndamukong Suh. You brought in Marcus Peters. You brought in somebody else. I'm forgetting their name. Aqib Talib on the defensive side. And then offensively, you got Brandon Cooks who just walked into the door to go along with your offensive player of the year in Todd Gurley. So these guys are about to walk in there. I'm expecting them to play well. On top of that, you're playing in a hot place, which happens to be Oakland. This is, if they were playing somewhere where it was cold, then maybe I could say the Rams might lose, but you're playing in your perfect climate. I'm expecting the Rams to go out there, man, and I expect them to roll. I expect them to roll. I think the Raiders offense, it might look good for a first couple of drives, but that defense is going to start getting after Derek Carr, and I think that's about to be it right there. I'm saying it's about to be a 30-burger on the damn Raiders. I'm going about 35-14. That's why I think it's about to end right there. And the over-under for this game is 49. I'm going with the over, just slightly over, and giving the Rams the edge. Go over to MyBookie.ag. Use the promo code Chiseled Adonis. Win you some doggone money for the Los Angeles Rams. And finally, Steelers taking on the Browns. Now, a bunch of people ask me about my thoughts on Le'Veon Bell. I'll be sharing that tomorrow. As for this game, James Conner most likely will be the starting running back. I'll say this about the Browns. They are looking much more promising than they have in the past decade, since the days of Braylon Edwards and somebody else who was a quarterback during that time. However, I'll say this much. The Browns are still going to Brown. They're going to lose this game, but it's going to be much closer than a lot of people think. This isn't going to be a one touchdown differential. It's going to be a field goal differential. I think this is going to be a game in which the Pittsburgh Steelers come back and win the game. I think the Browns are going to come out all hands on deck, firing. I think you're going to have maybe about a 17-3 lead, similar to what happened against the Bangles last year for the Pittsburgh Steelers on that Monday Night Football game when Shazier got hurt. I think the Browns are going to go out there, and then the first through 3 quarters, they're going to look like the superior team, and then in the fourth quarter, Pittsburgh is going to do what Pittsburgh does, show their resilience and come back. But I do not think this is going to be one of those games in which you go, you step in, and you're going to run away with the lead. There's a bunch of people talking about, well, it's the Browns. They're going to get trampled. No, this is not a team to overlook. This is not a team to overlook at all. However, for Pittsburgh, defensively, you are coming into this game healthy, with the exception of Ryan Shazier, of course, but we already knew that. But there's no serious injuries on either side of the ball. Everybody's intact. I'm expecting Big Ben to have himself a good game. I'm expecting James Conner. If he's there and they can get the holes for you, there's no reason why this man's not over 100 yards. I don't expect, whether it's Ward, anybody in the secondary, to be able to guard Antonio Brown. If Antonio Brown's not over 100 yards this game, I don't know what the hell's going on. Fickner, I might have issues with you. But I'm expecting Pittsburgh to come away with this victory 20-17. I think the Browns come out firing on all cylinders through 3 quarters, or I should say through 2.5 quarters. I think about the 7-minute mark is when things are going to start to go downhill for the Browns, and the Browns begin to look like the Cleveland Browns. But I think they come out firing on all cylinders. The under over for this game is 43. I think it's going to be under. So if you want to win you some money, go to MyBookie.ag. Put the money on the under for the Pittsburgh Steelers to win, because I do not expect the Cleveland Browns to win this game, but it's a possibility that they could. But stay tuned for my thoughts on the Le'Veon Bell and also my Steelers pregame analysis. That will be coming on, well, Le'Veon Bell tomorrow, pregame analysis Saturday. Also, the NFL commentary will be starting tomorrow. Right now, it is about 6-something o'clock. I'm getting ready to watch this Thursday night football game. As for me, I'm going to go somewhere and sit down. But those are my picks for who I think are going to win in week 1. Let me know who you think might win in week 1. If I picked your team to lose, let me know why your team will win. Now, I'll let you know, again, who I think are going to be able to win this game. Number 1, the Falcons win tonight. Then I think the Titans win. The 49ers lose. So let me just start that over so I can tell you who win rather than who I think is going to lose. So Falcons, Titans, Vikings, Texans, Saints, Jaguars, Colts, Ravens, Chargers, Redskins, Panthers, Seahawks, Packers, Lions, Rams, Steelers. Those are my picks for week 1. Let me know what your picks for week 1 is, and if you have a detailed analysis as to why you think some people might win or why you think some people might lose, comment it down in the comment section. If you've been wondering, like I said earlier, I'm upstairs in a random room. I shouldn't say random room. It happened to be in my brother's room. It's extremely hot. The AC's off. I am sweating under this shirt. I have to sit down, as I told you, rest my damn back. But I have been your host, the CEO and the founder of Hold My Nuggets Incorporated, Hold My Nugget Studios, and the Hold My Nugget Show. Although this isn't the Hold My Nugget Show. Maybe down the line I should make a Hold My Nugget Show. Let me know if you think I should make a Hold My Nugget Show. But I am the diligent, vigilant, meticulous, sagacious, conscientious, analytical, methodical individual, the Chiseled Adonis, and I am signing off.